Hello everybody, Mark here. Just kind of doing a video overview of my solar panel system. What I got going on here. I have 12 165 watt, they're 12 volt but 18 volt nominal solar panels here. I have, those are kind of homemade weather heads I got there. It's just two 90-degree bends. This is half inch conduit. I was planning on doing 3/4, but decided to do half, and all my wires couldn't fit in there, so ended up doing 2 runs of half down here. Come down here, strap right around the gutter like that. That goes down to my solar combiner box here. This is where both the strings get paralleled together and enters into the house down there. So let's go back up here. I have 2 strings of 6 of these, and it comes up to about 134 volts open. Now I've got 2 strings of those. Each one of them is 10 amp, goes up to 20 amp. Down here at the combiner box. And then it runs through some 10-3 wire, goes through here and into the house down here. And I do have 2 breakers up there, and I do have a Midnight Solar lightning arrestor there just in case. So here's my power wall as of right now. It's messy. I've got a lot of cleaning up to do. But let's start where we left off here. Another one of those Midnight Solar surge protectors. It's a whole house surge protector wired into the top of my box. So, just in case. So that's where the conduit enters my house there. It's all half inch. It comes down here. Now it comes to a pull-through box. Off the top of that pull-through box, I have a strain relief. Then I've got this 6 gauge coming over here and grounding to a water pipe. That's also where my main box grounds. So, ground wire goes in there, and then it all goes into the Midnight Solar, and then that's where the ground splits off from here and goes back all the way up to the panels. Kind of a funky way of doing it, but that's just kind of the way it turned out when I got done working on it. So we've got 2 breakers here. The incoming solar is this breaker right here, and then the output out of the charge controller into the battery bank is this breaker here. This one's a little bit oversized, which is fine. This one is a little bit undersized. I just need to quit being lazy and go out and buy a 25 amp breaker. So this is what we have going on here. This is temporary. I just have this little vent fan plugged in here. It's a little 120 volt inline fan. Got it at Menards for 30 bucks. It just hooks directly up to 4-inch piping. The fan doesn't really work very good. It doesn't suck that much air when you have, even this small amount of piping here. But that's actually a good thing, because these batteries aren't going to outgas that much. So I was kind of worried about pumping like hundreds of cubic feet a minute outside, just thinking, replacing all of that with cold air, how much it would increase my heating costs. But it's not. It doesn't suck very much at all. So just have an adapter down there that I kind of hammered out, kind of a funnel shape. Remember hydrogen floats, so I have that right at the edge there, so I don't have it coming down off of the top at all. And then here are my batteries. They're brand new T105s. I have 8 of them here. They're all date matched and everything. I have a 150 amp breaker here. It was suggested that I get a 175 amp breaker for the inverter, which is a Magnasign MS4448. They recommended 175 amp, but I couldn't find a good quality 175 amp breaker. I wanted a good, nice marine grade, something that was blast resistant, so if it does open, because this is inside the box. So, just wanted to make sure that if it did, it did had to open, that, I wouldn't have any bangs or surprises. And there's my Midnight Solar shunt. Have that in there, and that's just so my Midnight Solar can count the amps in and amps out, so it gives me a good, nice representation of how full my batteries are. This is a little messy here. Again, this was just kind of the way that it came together. I wanted to keep these wires separated the whole time, but Magnum actually suggested to zip tie them together as much as possible. It says it really helps keep the ripples down, and it'll make the filter caps last longer inside of the MagnaSign. So I did that there. This is all I have for right now for my output out of the MagnaSign. I just have these two. This is on one leg, this is on another leg. They're capable of doing 18 amps AC a piece. So I just have I've got some extension cords running out, and they're just for doing test loads and stuff like that. There's my control panel for the MagnaSign, and I got that, and everything's just nice and floated. And only pulled down 3 kilowatts today, but my batteries were pretty much full at 10 o'clock this morning. So anyway, my next step is to get rid of these guys and hook up to a manual transfer switch. I'll just have that conduit come out of here, run up, over, across. It'll come down over here. I want to have my manual transfer switch here, but I got to move this water pipe. I don't know who did that, but it's really wonky. So I'm going to get that pipe dropped down, get my manual transfer switch right here. I'm probably going to do a 10 circuit, and I'll have more updates for you later on.